she took the Enneagram test, which is a personality test, and I really want to take it. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm sorry that my background is so ugly today, but I'm in the process of moving, and this is the best setup for me right now, and there's just boxes and empty bookshelves behind me, so I apologize for that. But let's just go ahead and get started, I suppose. So I have my laptop in front of me. I don't know how long this is going to take, but it says that there's 14 pages. So it says, honestly grade each statement. Yes for, yes, this is really me. Partly for, this is partly how I am. And no for, this is probably not how I am. If you don't know whether it applies, it's usually best to check no. Alright, so first one, I often refrain from acting as I'm afraid of being overwhelmed. Partly, I guess, in certain circumstances. I want to win the approval of those in authority, sometimes even when I don't really like them. I would say yes. I am too strict with myself and others. Partly. I think I'm actually pretty reasonable with myself. Okay. Success, prestige, and recognition really matter to me. I'll say partly. I feel like I'm in between partly and yes, because like success is important to me, like doing a good job at my job, but recognition I kind of go back and forth with. Like, I do want my efforts to be recognized, but at the same time I get a little bit uncomfortable with recognition. I plan the next adventure before the current one is finished. I mean, probably yes. I'm just thinking of like mostly work things. Like starting another project while I'm in the process of another. Or, I mean, I guess it said planning. So yeah. I don't get depressed easily, if at all. I'd say yes. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I've never like struggled with official depression. Got like a random toothache. So yeah, I would agree with that statement. I love to take care of people, and I'm good at it. I would say I'm pretty good at taking care of people. Now, do I love to take care of people? I don't know. I'm gonna say partly. Because sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Oh, this is a hard no. I am more sensitive than most people. Sometimes the world just seems too harsh. Definitely not. I could probably be more sensitive. I tend to trust most people. Actually, I'm going to say partly. I would say I lean more towards yes, but recently, as I've become more and more obsessed with true crime, I feel like I'm less trusting of like people in public, people that I know I'm trusting of, but like strangers, I think the worst. It's hard for me to put my feelings aside, even to get a job done. My immediate thought is no. So we'll stick with that. I am uncomfortable when people want an emotional response from me. yes. The thing that comes to mind is like opening presents in front of people and having to be like excited. Like, I hate that. Even if I am. Or showing like negative emotion is a little bit awkward for me, I guess. It's important to me that I be admired by others, as many people do, and many people do admire me. Important that I be admired. I'm going to say partly because I kind of interpret that as being someone to like look up to at work. I don't think I'm there yet, but that's like somewhere that I aspire to be, I guess. Okay, here's a yes. I'm skeptical, suspicious, and doubtful. Yes. In most close relationships, I give more than I take. I'm going to say partly. At this stage in my life, I think in the past, in friendships, that would have been like an absolutely yes. But now, I feel like it's more balanced. I'm pretty domineering. I'm going to say partly because that could really go either way. I think to strangers, that would be a no. I think I come off as pretty like shy and quiet. But I don't know. Like, I don't feel like it's a no, because I also feel like I can have a strong personality at times. Not many times, but I think like my kind of stubbornness and like knowing what I want plays into that of being, I don't know, domineering though. I feel like is someone who's like always wants to kind of be in control and like be at the top. I don't know. We'll stick with partly because I'm kind of in the middle. I am always aware of what needs to be corrected. I'd say yes. I don't see much point in wallowing in negative emotions. When I begin to feel anxious, I tend to throw myself into distracting activities. Unfortunately, I would say no. Yeah. I probably give too much time to the negative emotions and just feeling them out. I could probably use a little more ambition. We'll go with no. Okay, page 3. Wow, this is going to be long. I avoid expressing strong emotions. I don't think I necessarily avoid it. I kind of just feel like that's not in my personality, so I'm going to say no, because I don't think it's on purpose. I don't mind taking a risk. I really like to beat the odds. I would say no, I'm not a risk taker. Personal relationships are by far the most important thing in my life. I would say yes. I'm not someone who is like super focused on work or career. It's always like family and relationships. Your happiness and your feelings are your responsibility, not mine. Okay, I have definitely been one to say this. I would say yes. I mean, I'm not like totally on the yes, but I would say I'm further towards yes than partly. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're in control of your emotions. I am more organized than most. I'm going to say partly. course, I compare myself to others to assess how I am doing. Yeah. I think it's hard not to in my job. Even though it is frequently irrational, I sometimes worry whether people are talking about me behind my back. At the moment, I would say no. I'm a true romantic. We'll say yes. Page 4. Out of 14. This is going to be long, like I said. I want to observe and think without giving myself away before I go into action. Yeah. I am highly individualistic. It's like, what does that even mean? I'll say partly. I am more loving than most people. I feel like I could go any way with this one. I am more loving than most people. Partly, maybe. I get bored more easily than most people. I am always looking for new experiences. I would say no. I'm pretty content in a routine and kind of in safety. I am more formal than most people. I'll say no. While I am very loyal myself, I frequently worry that others are not going to be loyal to me. Not really. I'm quite unobtrusive and easy to get along with. We'll say yes. I am a good networker. I know how to make connections. I'd say no. Rules annoy me. I'm going to say partly because I think there's certain rules that annoy me or that I think don't make any sense. However, I do think it is very important that we have rules and expectations. Okay, next page. I am attuned to anything that might be dangerous, and I am security conscious. Like I was saying with the trust, that's a yes. I come on pretty strong and can sometimes intimidate people. I'd say no, especially at the start. I try to get closer to people by being generous with my time and energy. I want to say yes. Like thinking of new people, like wanting to be there to help. We'll say yeah. People are attracted to me because I impress them. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'll say partly. I don't like commitment. Who wants to be locked into something, especially if something better presents itself? I'd say no. Yeah, I like the security of commitment. Nobody likes to be intruded upon, but I hate it. Partly. I guess it depends. Because I wouldn't say I hate it, but like unannounced visits by people, I don't love that. I go along with what others want unless I have a very strong desire of my own, which I usually don't. So I go along with what others want unless I have a very strong desire of my own. I think if that was the only piece, I would say yes, but that which I usually don't is throwing me off. Because I think I do often have a very strong desire of my own. So I'm going to say partly. I often resent it when I see people doing a slack job. Ooh, I'm going to have to say yes on that one. But what exactly does it mean to resent something? Let's see. Feel bitterness or indignation at a circumstance, action, or person. Yeah, to be annoyed about, to dislike, displeased. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make me, I don't think I'm very, accepting of that or understanding. I would say, yeah, I'm pretty critical of people doing a slack job. I am more temperamental than most, but it's because my feelings are so strong. No. Page 6. This is interesting. I see life as a struggle that I intend to win. I'd say no. If I'm not careful, I can get too isolated from others. I'd say yeah. I'm very introverted. I am meticulous and fastidious, even about details that other people find minor. Meticulous about certain things. Partly. When making a decision, I often ask myself which option will yield the maximum enjoyment. I would say no, because generally when making a decision, it's about kind of like risk analysis and what makes the most sense. I would say enjoyment is like second to that. I am drawn to emotional intensity and am not afraid to explore the depths. No. It is important to me to feel as though I belong. Yeah. Sometimes I have overextended myself in trying to help people. Yes, but I feel like the reason that I pick yes is not because I didn't know when to stop. But I guess I feel like when the effort isn't reciprocated in some way, then I feel like, wow, I did all of that and it wasn't returned. I am competitive and ambitious, but I do not think of myself as cutthroat. Yes. I tend to avoid conflict. I'm going to say partly because I think it depends on who it's with. At work, I would try definitely to avoid conflict, but at the same time, I'm not someone to avoid it altogether where my opinion is going to get lost. Okay, page 7. It's really hard for me to save money as I tend to spend beyond my limits. That's a definite no. No one would ever call me selfish. Oh, that's a hard one because you gotta think of how others view you. I don't think I would say yes, that absolutely no one would call me selfish because I think of myself a lot, but I don't think people would call me selfish at the same time, so I'm gonna say partly. I hold a tight rein on my temper. I'm say yes because, like, I think for the most part, I do have a pretty, like, good, I feel like I have control over my emotions, but I also know, like, when to let loose and let it out. I'm a big procrastinator. Oh, see, this one is a tough one for me, and I've mentioned this a lot, where, like, I can't force myself to work. I have to be, like, inspired or in the mood to work. And it's not that I'm procrastinating necessarily. It's just that I know when, like, I get the itch to work or do things, then I won't have any, like, negative feelings about it. I'm gonna say no. I'm not a big procrastinator. I feel like I've gotten better about that this year. Honestly, the things that I, like, wait until the last minute are usually things that I've just honestly forgotten about. Oh, this is an interesting one. I welcome a good fight as it clears the air. Honestly, I would say yes to that. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I just had to take a break because my camera overheated and ran out of battery simultaneously, but I am back. Okay, so the next one, it says, to deal with the fear I always have, I'm as nice and warm as possible towards everyone. Now, this is the one that I got cut off, like my camera cut off during, and I still don't know how exactly to answer it, because I feel like the second part, I would say yes to, like, I'm as nice and warm as possible towards everyone. I would say so. But the fact that it says to deal with the fear I always have, I'm as nice and warm as possible. Like, I don't exactly know how to interpret that. I'm gonna say no because I feel like I don't have any, like, constant fear. So, okay. Next one. I don't tend to overcommit myself. I have a limited amount of time and energy. I would say yes. I think I'm pretty good at, like, setting boundaries and knowing when to say no. It's strange, but I think that there is something beautiful about sadness. I'd say no. It would be the worst thing to be seen by others as a loser. I don't think that's the worst thing, so I'm going to say no. I think there's far worse things. Okay, we're on page 8. Usually, I just focus on the positive sides of people, as focusing on negative traits or events does not help making relationships more harmonious. You know what? Honestly, I'm gonna say no. I would love to say that I focus on the positives, but personally, the negatives always stand out more. That's horrible, but it's true. I think it's weak to back down from confrontation. I'm gonna say partly because I'm not, like, I don't think it's necessarily weak, but I think that you should definitely stand up for yourself when you need to, but also know when to step down or know when to stop or when it's not appropriate to have an argument or a fight. I'm good at getting things done. Yes. If something doesn't go my way, I can find something beneficial about it. Honestly, I would say no. That's something I struggle with. I accumulate lots of knowledge to counteract my lack of self-confidence. No, I'd say I'm pretty confident. Yeah, I don't feel like I have any, like, coping mechanisms in order to to be noticed, but it also makes me uncomfortable. This is what I was talking about. Yes, that's exactly it. I'm constantly on the lookout for things that might go wrong. Again, that's like yes with an exclamation. I am more sentimental than others. I'm going to say partly. I don't think I'm super. You know what? I'm going to say yes. I have perfumes that I don't wear anymore, but I keep because I wore them for like memorable occasions. So yeah, I almost never lose control of myself. I'd say yeah, I think I'm pretty in control. I'm not a show-off. In fact, I've probably been too modest. I would say no. I mean, I don't think I'm a show-off, but I also don't think I'm like super modest. I guess I'm like in between no and partly. Like, I don't think I'm a show-off, but I also don't think I'm too modest. But it's also like, what are they referring to? Is this in terms of like material goods or like accomplishments and things like that? I guess I'll say partly because I think I'm pretty modest with like my abilities, I guess at work or things like that. It is important to me that I win the respect of others, yes. Most people don't know that I am actually really sensitive, as I tend to conceal my emotions. I would say no. I don't let it show, but if I'm with someone who is as unique as I am, I get a bit jealous. No. Okay, yeah, here we go. This is a strong yes. Change, whether to a new job or new school, makes me more anxious than it does most people. Yeah. I'm pretty tough. Yeah, I would say so. I'm a brainstormer. For every problem, I can think of 10 approaches to a solution. I would say yes. I mean, I think that's a little extreme, saying 10 approaches to a solution. But I would say I can brainstorm solutions pretty well. I can't rest until the job is done. No. Well, it depends on what I'm talking about or what job needs to get done. Like, if I've started something that I'm motivated to do, yeah, I'll see it through. But there's also other things that I'm like, it can wait. It's fine. So I guess that's partly. Oh, this is interesting. Others need my assistance much more than I need theirs. My mind immediately jumps to yes, and I feel like that's like a negative trait. Or it says something negative about me, but I feel like I'm pretty self-sufficient a lot of the times. I mean, that's what the TAs always say about me when they come in and they're like, do you need anything? And I'm like, no, I'm good. They're like, man, you never need my help. I tend not to consider asking help from others, even from those I love. No. I think I'm pretty good about asking for help, actually. I generally appear calm and even-tempered, even when I am under an enormous strain. You know what? I think I'm actually going to say yes to this because I think I hide my stress pretty well. I often lose my focus as my attention tends to drift off from the main issues. That was my stomach, I'm sorry. I'm going to say partly. It takes me a lot of time and effort to make an important decision, and I frequently second-guess myself. question that I feel like I kind of like go both ways for, or like half of it goes one way, half goes the other. It takes me a lot of time and effort to make important decisions. I would say like mostly leaning yes, but the frequently second guessing myself, I would more lean no. I feel like once I've really thought through a decision, I'm like, okay, that's it. So, you know what? I'm going to stick with no on that. I've been told that I lack tact, but I think the important thing is to tell the truth. So tact is like, let's see. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like, yeah, a sensitivity in dealing with others or with difficult issues. So kind of like knowing appropriate tone and how to kind of bring up different things. I would say no for that. I want to enjoy things, so I'm not very disciplined. I would say no because I think I am disciplined so that I am able to enjoy things. So yeah. I have a compulsion to do things the right way, even if it's not cost effective. Oh yeah. People see me as a warm and sympathetic person. I would say yes. Yeah, I think that's how I would come across. Next one, even if I don't have it all together, at least I'm going to seem to have it all together. Yeah. I have more energy and strength than most people. I want to say yes just because of the energy portion. Yeah, I don't know, that's kind of a weird one. It's hard to stay passionate and focused. I don't think so. I'll say no. My tendency to tell people what's wrong and what they should do about it has sometimes annoyed them. I'm thinking about Joe, and I think you would say yes to that. I mean, that would only be people who I'm like close with, not like strangers. Oh, this is interesting. People often aren't what they seem, so I can be really suspicious of their motives. I think I'm gonna stick with no because I don't really think of that on a day-to-day basis. But like as a whole, I would agree that that's a possibility, but I don't think that they're often like not what they seem. People in my life seem pretty genuine. I'm not comfortable with self-revelation. No. Life's about give and take, so giving love is the most important thing in my life. Yes, I guess. Okay, 3 more pages. My camera says it's overheating again, so hopefully I get this done, because I've got to be somewhere in 20 minutes and I can't be waiting around. I think best on my feet, so I tend to move into action before I've thought it through. No. I'm proud of the fact that many people depend on me. It's funny, as a teacher, every single day I have 21 little people that depend on me, and I'm proud, yes, that I can take that responsibility and have them depend on me every day. I'll do what it takes to be successful, yes, within reason. Sometimes I don't know what I'm feeling until I've had the chance to think about it. I'll say no. I tend to have mixed feelings about many people. Mixed feelings. Yes. I've been told I'm a perfectionist, and I suppose it's true. You know, I'm going to say partly, I don't think I actually am that much of a perfectionist. one's ever said that about me. I don't give a damn about morality, but I've got my own brand of integrity. I'll say no. I think morality is important. I can easily imagine all the things that might go wrong as I have a really vivid imagination. Yes. I have a real sensitivity to how my presentation is affecting others, and I can alter it if I have to. You know, I really don't think I do alter my presentation much. Not in an inauthentic way, at least. I'm gonna say no, but that's kind of an odd one. While I value my close relationships, I often feel most myself when I am alone. Also, yes, like I said, I'm an introvert. I don't mind being alone at all. I seldom compromise my principles. Yes, that's a big yes. It really bothers me when people don't say thank you. I think yes, just for the principle of it. Relates to the last one, right? I tend to either comply completely or to rebel. I'm going to say no because I think there is a middle ground. I'm good at motivating people. I think I have to say yes as a teacher. That's kind of like a big chunk of my job, and I think I am pretty good at that. Sometimes I am too critical of others, but I am much harder on myself than I am to others, or on others, yes. I sometimes wish people would take care of me for a change. I'm gonna say no, because I think that the people in my life do take care of me. This is the last one, when I get really involved in an intellectual problem that stimulates me, I tend to detach from my emotions. When I really get involved in an intellectual problem. Oh, no. That's kind of an odd one to end on. I don't exactly understand it. An intellectual problem. I'm thinking like when there's something challenging me at work, I detach from my emotions. I don't think so. Yeah. Okay. Results. You are most likely a type 2. Let's see. I'm going to email the results to myself. It says, my type 2 is 10.4, but type 1 and type 3 are both a 9. Type 6 is an 8, and type 5 is a 5.7. So I guess 4. What numbers am I missing? Type 4, 7, and 8 are not even up there. Okay, let's see if I get an email. Okay. So let's see what type 2 is. Type 2, the helper. Interesting. Helpers who need to be needed. Well, there you go. Okay, this is really long, but I'm just going to read it. So, type 2. People of this personality type essentially feel that they are worthy insofar as they are helpful to others. Love is their highest ideal. Selflessness is their duty. Giving to others is their reason for being. Involved, socially aware, usually relationships, devote an enormous amount of energy to them, and who expect to be appreciated for their efforts. Okay. They're practical people who thrive in the helping professions. Okay. And who know how to make a home comfortable and inviting. Helping others makes twos feel good about themselves. Being needed makes them feel important. Being selfless makes twos feel virtuous. Much of a two's self-image revolves around these issues, and any threat to that self-image is scarcely tolerated. I'd say that's true. Twos are thoroughly convinced of their selflessness, and it is true that they are frequently genuinely helpful and concerned about others. It is equally true, however, that twos require appreciation. They need to be needed. Their love is not entirely without ulterior motives. Okay. Twos often develop a sense of entitlement when it comes to the people closest to them. Because they have extended themselves for others, they begin to feel that gratitude is owed to them. They can become intrusive and demanding if their often unacknowledged emotional needs go unmet. They can be bossy and manipulative, feeling entirely justified in being so. I got cut off yet again, but it's alright. I am back. It has actually been quite some time. I had an appointment to go to, like I mentioned. So, I gotta think about where I left off. Okay, I think I was about here. They can become intrusive and demanding if their often unacknowledged emotional needs go unmet. They can be bossy and manipulative, feeling entirely justified in being so because they have earned the right and their intentions are good. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. The darkest side of the type 2 fixation appears when the 2 begins to feel that they will never receive the love they deserve for all of their efforts. Under such circumstances, they can become hysterical, irrational, and even abusive. Never receive the love they deserve. I don't really connect to that. Because twos are generally helping others meet their needs, they can forget to take care of their own. This can lead to physical burnout, emotional exhaustion, and emotional volatility. I have talked about my tension headaches before, and that definitely is accurate, I guess, in this case. I guess instead of taking care of myself, I spend so much time thinking about my work that it causes a physical toll on my body. But I don't know. I feel like I actually have a pretty good work-life balance now. It's just I don't know. I feel like this isn't the place to talk about this right now because it's kind of a long idea, but basically I think I experience more stress than I consciously do, because I honestly do not feel stressed out at work, but clearly my body is experiencing stress. So, okay, I'm gonna move on from that. Twos need to learn that they can only be of true service to others if they're healthy, balanced, and centered in themselves. I mean, I would agree with that statement for everyone. Twos can mistype themselves if they're not in an obvious helper role in their professional lives. They might not recognize the extent of their involvement in assisting others. This is especially true for male twos who have not received the same social rewards for helping as female twos receive. Male twos frequently mistype as ones or threes, the wings of type 2. Females of all types are bound to recognize some of the dynamics of type 2 in their personalities. I mean, I'm a teacher. I'm in an obvious helper role in my professional life. I mean, besides like doctors, I don't know how much more of a helper role you could be in. But I don't know. I'm interested in this because apparently this is like the most like reliable or the deepest like personality test, but I do not connect to this really strongly. The Myers-Briggs test, however, is like spot on. So I don't know. I feel like it's because a lot of the statements were a little bit like convoluted, where I put partly for a lot of questions because some of it applied and some of it didn't. Whereas if the statement was broken up and I could say yes to one and no to another, I think it would have helped narrow this down a little bit. I do kind of want to go through and read a couple of the other ones because it said my type 2 is 10.4, but type 1 and type 3 were both 9s. And it said, and see, I don't even know what the wings are. Like, I don't understand that, but it did say that the wings of 2 are 1 and 3, which makes sense, so I guess they're kind of related. Okay, it says wings. Usually one has a characteristic of one of the types that lie adjacent to one's own that are more prominent. This is called the wing. So someone who is a type 5 might have a wing 4 or a wing 6. This may be abbreviated to 5W4 and 5W6. If one doesn't have a dominant wing, it is said that the wings are balanced. And it's actually interesting because my 2 wing 1 and 2 wing 3 have the same exact score, 14.9. So, let's read both of those. I guess they're pretty balanced. So, like as an overview, it says, type 1, the reformer, perfectionists, responsible, fixated on improvement. Ones are especially looking to make things better as they think nothing is ever quite good enough. This makes them perfectionists who want to reform and improve, who desire to make order out of the omnipresent chaos. So, I mean, yeah, I see myself in some of that. I don't necessarily think that nothing is ever good enough and that I'm that much of a perfectionist, but I do connect to some of that. Type 3 is the achiever, focused on the presentation of excess to attain validation. 3s need to be validated in order to feel worthy. They pursue success and want to be admired. They are frequently hardworking, competitive, and are highly focused in the pursuit of their goals, whether their goal is to be the most successful salesman in the company or the sexiest woman in their social circle. And see, again, like, I feel like I'm definitely an achiever, perceptions to see if any others stand out to me. I can see some, like right off the bat, that some of them, it makes sense why they were not on my list, because it ain't me. So type 4 is the individualist. Identity seekers who feel unique and different. 4s build their identities around their perception of themselves as being somehow different or unique, and are thus self-consciously individualistic. They tend to see their differences from others as being both a gift and a curse. A gift because it sets them apart from those they perceive as being somehow common, and a curse as it so often seems to separate them from the simpler forms of happiness than others so readily seem to enjoy. I wonder if that was on mine. Nope. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't really connect to that at all. Being unique and different is not something that takes up any mental energy for me. Type 5, the investigator. So on the breakdown, when you get your test results, they give you your top 5. And this was the 5th one down for me, rated at a 5.7. So the investigator, thinkers who tend to withdraw and observe. 5s essentially fear that they don't have enough inner strength to face life, so they tend to withdraw, to retreat into the safety and security of the mind where they can mentally prepare for their emergence into the world. 5s feel comfortable and at home in the realm of thought. They are generally intelligent, well-read, and thoughtful, and they frequently become experts in the areas that capture their interest. I connect to like the mentally preparing, thinking, being an investigator aspects, but I don't fully connect to that. Type 6 was my 4th one, ranked at an 8. So I had type 2, type 1, type 3, type 6, and type 5, which is interesting because 1, 2, and 3 are like, the 1 and the 3 are the wings of 2, and then 6 and 5 are right next to each other as well. It is interesting though that 4 isn't on there, but like I said, I really don't connect to 4. So type 6, the loyalist, conflicted between trust and distrust. 6s essentially feel insecure, as though there is nothing quite steady enough to hold on to. At the core of the type 6 personality is a kind of fear or anxiety. 6s don't trust easily. They are often ambivalent about others until the person has absolutely proven herself, at which point they are likely to respond with steadfast loyalty. Yeah, I mean, that was an 8 for me, so pretty close because my top was a 10.4. But I don't think I'm that conflicted between trusting others, like people who would come into my life in like a natural way, like a new coworker, or I don't know, that's really all I can think of, like a coworker. My first response is to trust them. I mean, why wouldn't I? Like strangers, that's a different thing. Like random people walking around the parking lot, yeah, I'm probably gonna think you're gonna murder me even if you look harmless. But that's just how my brain is now. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I don't trust easily. Okay, so number 7, 8, and 9 were not on my list at all. Type 7 is moved it up so I don't have to hunch down as much. Type 7 is the enthusiast, pleasure seekers and planners in search of distraction. Yeah, see, just off of that, I don't connect to it. 7s are essentially concerned that their lives be an exciting adventure. They are future-oriented, restless people who are generally convinced that something better is others frequently manifests in the need to control others instead. Honestly, I'm surprised that this didn't come up in mine. Yeah, it's not on there. It's not on there at all. Not even in my wings. I'm actually very surprised by that because, I don't think I'm that stubborn and independent where I cannot be controlled by others, because I think in a work or even a friendship sort of scenario, I'm pretty go with the flow for the most part. But I definitely connect to the description of being strong-willed, decisive, practical, and tough-minded. So that's interesting to me. And type 9, the peacemaker, keeping peace and harmony. Yeah, I can tell that this is not me. Nines essentially feel a need for peace and harmony. They tend to avoid conflicts at all costs, whether it be internal or interpersonal. As the potential for conflict in life is virtually ubiquitous, the nine's desire to avoid it generally results in some degree of withdrawal from life, and many nines are in fact introverted. Other nines lead more active social lives, but nevertheless remain to some degree checked out or not fully involved, as if to insulate themselves from threats to their peace of mind. Yeah, I don't connect to that. I don't think that I avoid conflict at all costs. And I'm definitely not introverted because I fear conflict, or that I feel like it's a threat to my peace of mind. I feel like I'm really in control of my mindset and my emotions in regards to how other people affect them. So, I guess when I look at that, it makes sense, the ones that I got. I guess number 2 is kind of the best. I'm definitely not extroverted. Socially aware. Yeah, I think I am. I do kind of want to read, the full thing on the other types. It says type 1 has a fine eye for detail, aware of the flaws in themselves, others, and the situations in which they find themselves. Tend to feel guilty about anger, sees anger as a bad emotion. Anger is repressed from consciousness. Yeah, that doesn't fit me, I don't think. I'd be really curious to see if you have taken this test and what you think of your results, if they really resonate with you or not. I want to look up type 2 on other places to see what other websites say. Because see, this different website says Enneagram type 2, the supportive advisor. 2s are people who see the world through relationships and define themselves through their service to others. What drives a type 2 to think, feel, and behave in particular ways? Their core fear, being rejected and unwanted, being thought worthless, needy, inconsequential, dispensable, or unworthy of love. Core desire to be appreciated, loved, and wanted. Core weakness,